Alright, new SCP channel, Dr. Cat. So listen, I haven't gotten confirmation yet, but the narrator sounds so much like the same narrator that works with Dr. No Sleep from some of the horror animation reactions that I do. I emailed him just to find out if it was the same, but there's a lot of similarities to this. So if you guys know about it, let me know in the comments. But at any rate, we're gonna react to it today. He's doing SCP-280 Eyes in the Dark. It looks like he's covering some different SCPs than we're used to checking out. So I'm very, very excited to see their work. Make sure to subscribe to him, guys. Link's gonna be in the description as well. And let's get into this reaction, shall we?
The Schilling family was having a peaceful dinner with their guest David.
All right.
They ate, joked about the silliest things, and laughed about them.
Yeah.
It seemed like the perfect family dinner. The Schilling
nice.
family had 5 members: Mr. Schilling, Mrs. Schilling, their 2
the 3
daughters,
kids.
and 1 son.
All right.
David was over at their house from a neighboring state to stay the night. The
Okay.
family finished dinner.
Friend of the family,
and Mrs.
or?
Schilling started cleaning the table while the eldest daughter, Dea, helped her mother.
Cool.
Meanwhile, the younger daughter, Jamie, prepared the basement room for their guest, David. While Mrs. Schilling was
Very
working
chill
in the
family.
kitchen, she turned towards the dishwasher and felt that she had passed a void. However, when she looked around, she didn't see anything.
Passed a void?
So she kept working.
Weird.
Mr. Schilling and David were chatting until the family son, Ben, interrupted and informed them that David's basement bedroom was ready.
Okay.
David said goodnight to everyone and then left for the basement.
Gotcha.
While he was going down the dark stairs, he felt that someone was following him. So
Okay.
he looked behind him, but there was no one there, so he kept on moving.
Sure.
David opened the door to his room and went inside. He had to go on a hike the next day, so he started to prepare his backpack with essentials: a
Okay.
rope, flashlight, snacks, and more.
There you go.
Meanwhile, Mr. and Mrs. Schilling went to their room. Dea and Jamie shared a room, so they headed upstairs.
Right.
And Ben went to his room. The
Okay.
family was all set to sleep, except for Ben, who was wide awake as he had a video game
Playing on
night
his
planned
phone?
with his friends.
Ah, okay, cool.
Ben turned off the bedroom lights and turned on his PlayStation
Yeah.
and started playing a fighting game. While Ben was in the middle of an attack, he saw that his computer screen had turned black. When
Okay.
he came a bit closer to the screen, he noticed that it wasn't the screen that was black, but instead, there was something in front of the screen that
Oh.
was blocking it.
Okay.
Ben couldn't understand what it was, and he thought maybe his sister Jamie was pulling a prank on him.
Sure.
Ben told Jamie to get away from the computer screen because this was an important match, and Ben could not afford to lose it.
You've
Just when Ben
done been
asked
hit
to
too many
leave,
times so
The
far.
black shadow disappeared.
All right.
Ben resumed his game, and just as he was about to win, the black shadow came right in front of Ben's face. Ben couldn't see anything. It felt as if he had lost his sight.
Sounds creepy
He
as hell
closed his
too.
eyes and then opened them again, but still, he couldn't see anything.
Okay.
All of a sudden, he felt so much pain throughout his body that every inch of his body ached.
What
It
the
felt
heck?
as if someone was tearing him apart. He was in so much pain that he couldn't even cry for help.
Anomalous effect of the
black
shadow?
matter stayed there until Ben lost control of his body, and then the black matter opened its wide eyes.
Oh my
The black
gosh.
matter left Ben's body after his breathing had stopped.
Oh, so
The
it
black
killed
matter
him.
then made its way to Jamie and Dea's room. Dea was sleeping, while Jamie was in the bathroom changing her clothes. The black matter didn't take long to consume Dea's body while she was sleeping. and took her life.
Wow.
When Jamie came out of the bathroom about
Just
3
came
minutes
out of
later,
nowhere in
she
somebody's
called out to
house
Dea,
and just started
but
hurting
Dea was
them.
dead. There was
Ugh.
no answer. The black matter was hiding under the bed, like a monster, waiting to hunt down Jamie next.
What the heck,
Jamie thought
dude?
Dea was asleep, so she sat on her side of the bed and started scrolling memes on her phone.
Right next to
Meanwhile,
her
the
dead
dark matter was waiting
sister.
for Jamie to put down her phone. When Jamie yawned,
Why the
she knew
phone?
it was time to sleep.
Is the phone an issue?
So she powered off her phone and placed it on the side table.
Okay.
The black matter formed a cloud-like shape and attacked Jamie. Jamie struggled for oxygen and collapsed within 2 minutes,
Wow.
also dead on the bed. The dark matter showed its wide eyes again and moved out of the closed door. It wandered around the house for its next
Going to the
prey.
parents' room?
Mr. and Mrs. Schilling were lying on their bed, while Mr. Schilling talked about how David is the ideal man for their eldest daughter, Dea, to marry. While the couple was talking,
That's what David
they
was.
felt like someone was listening to their conversation. Mrs.
Sure.
Schilling had that same feeling earlier when she was in the kitchen. Mrs. Schilling shared how she thought there was someone else in the kitchen besides Dea and her.
Okay.
She couldn't see it, but she could feel the presence of someone else.
That's a
Mrs.
creepy
Schilling was
feeling, man,
speaking,
when you just feel a
the dark
presence.
matter entered the room from a wall and made its way to the bed where Mr. and Mrs. Schilling were laying. Mr. and Mrs. Schilling couldn't believe
So they
their
both
eyes,
saw it.
as they had seen nothing like this before.
It was weird
It was
because
a dark black cloud.
it's like it
It
was
had a head, but no
singling out
features
the
on its
kids.
face,
So
and
why
its lower
attack
body was
both of
not
them at the same
human-like.
time?
The couple immediately
Not that they
got
could
out
do
of their
much
bed and
about it.
started screaming the names of their kids. No one
Too late.
responded. The
Kill
dark
them all.
matter kept on coming closer to them. Mrs. Schilling quickly picked up her phone and dialed the police for help.
Oh, the
While she was on the
police!
call with the police,
Come fight the
she wasn't
shadow.
even sure what to explain.
Right.
Then, the dark matter captured
Oh my
Mr. Schilling's
God.
body. Mr. Schilling was screaming with pain, but with each passing second, the screams became lessened until he went
Wow.
completely silent and fell on the floor.
Poor Mr. Schill.
Mr. Schilling cried for help, but there was no one to listen.
No.
She dropped the phone and rushed to her husband, but he had lost his heartbeat. The black matter
Wow.
showed its white eyes, attacked Mrs. Schilling, and killed her too.
God dang it.
Now
This
the
thing
black
is
matter was looking for its
ruthless.
next prey. He knew that there was someone else in the house too. Meanwhile, the police were making their way to the house.
Right.
The dark matter reached the staircase, and it could smell the flesh of a human from the basement room.
What in the world are the
It
police
passed
gonna
through
do
the
to
closed
that?
door and saw David sitting alongside his hiking bag.
Right.
As it was dark, David couldn't see anything properly, so he called out and requested the kids to turn on the lights. He got no response.
Uh-huh.
Just when David felt something was near him, he took out the flashlight from his bag and flashed it. He saw the dark matter and started trembling. The dark matter got away from David due to the light being flashed. They tried coming back to
so
David,
all they needed,
but David kept on
that's why
flashing
it
the
was
light,
staying away
so it
from
went
the
away.
the
police
phone.
arrived
But why
and
wouldn't the
entered the house.
PlayStation
They
have
saw dead
kind of
bodies
warded it
all over
off?
the house and then headed to the basement.
Oh my God.
The policeman
dude.
opened the door and saw David sitting in the corner, in a state of shock, holding a flashlight, and he was unresponsive at the time. The police
Was he
didn't know
just
what
in
was going
shock,
on, so they began
or
their investigation.
had he been killed?
They searched the house and found no evidence except small pieces of clothing or hair that didn't belong to anyone in the house. While an officer was working on the
Is
investigation,
the shadow an
the dark
entity
matter
or an
attacked
actual
him,
being?
and he
Oh
was badly
gosh.
mutilated.
It's killing the police
I
too.
am Dr. Cat, working on the case of dark black matter, formerly known as SCP-280. The Foundation took over the case after the statement from the police officer that was attacked.
Right.
We have contained the SCP-280 in a special 5x5 meter cell, but there
Okay.
have been instances where it escapes. The SCP-280 is a black human-shaped mass with two large white eyes on its head and
Alright.
two hands with very long and thin fingers. The legs and feet are not visible, and the lower
Just
body
like a
fades
ghost.
away. The SCP-280 is composed of matter, and it can gain and lose corporeal form. The eyes
Right.
of SCP-280 only appear when
So
it
it
is
is
retreating
matter.
and
It's
looking
not
for
just
another
energy
target after
or a
an
shadow.
attack. It moves in a sleepwalking-like motion. It is kept in a 5-meter cell in total darkness. No human or item enters its cell.
Right.
Whenever testing has to be done, the individuals wear infrared goggles and are equipped with an infrared
So they can
ID
see
strobe
it.
and flashlight.
Mhm.
When SCP-280 attacks, the flashlight is used to illuminate the subject under attack. The SCP-280 leaves the subject if the light is flashed onto him.
Wow.
The
Okay.
SCP-280 is very strong and can sense human life.
Okay.
It approaches humans
Dr.
and
Cat
tears
looks pretty
them
cool,
apart
huh?
from within,
Oh
which
my
causes
gosh, man.
massive physical trauma. Attacks
That's
last
why it's so much-
between
that's
1
why
to
it's so
5
painful.
minutes and
Oh,
ends
God.
when the person is dead.
5
At this
minutes
point,
of just
SCP-280
pain.
shows its eyes, loses corporeal form, and moves to its next target. If no
Huh.
human is present, SCP-280 balls up against a wall until he can spot a target. SCP-280 will retreat gradually from light, revealing its eyes in the direction of the light or to any nearby humans.
All right.
If the area is fully illuminated or the subject is fully illuminated, the SCP-280 fades away as it has a defensive response to light.
Gotcha.
The SCP-280 doesn't eat, sleep, or breathe. SCP-280 has often been discounted as a shadow
just
when it
matter.
appears in the dark.
Right.
Often people touch it unknowingly, but he does not harm them until the moment of attack.
Gotcha.
Subjects have reported a feeling of dread and unease when inside
I guess.
SCP-280.
Ha!
At the SCP Foundation, SCP-280 is still under investigation.
Okay.
In our testing phase, once SCP-280 broke its containment and traveled the property. It reached
So it actually
the chamber
broke-
of SCP-1591, showed its white
Which
eyes,
is?
but did not attack. After several minutes, SCP-280 returned back to its cell without taking any human life.
Strange.
The SCP-280 is still under investigation. Subscribe to the channel, and I will keep you updated on the progress.
Sounds good. Dr. Cat's animation, you guys. This is pretty cool. I had never heard of that SCP, but it sounds a little bit more like a horror story, which also is in line if this is actual Dr. No Sleep's team or animation team, at least, and or narrator. At any rate, this is pretty cool, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and go subscribe to the Dr. Cat channel, as well as these other animations that I reacted to. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.